The MPC OS firmware 2.10 is now out for the MPC standalone devices, and we can now use our audio interface with our standalone MPCs. Check it out. What's up, everybody? My name is Matthew Stratton. On this channel, I'll do setup videos and tutorials to help you record and create music. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. So the new MPC 2.10 firmware update has a lot of different features in it, but I want to talk about being able to use the audio interface, and I want to give you an example of it. So there's going to be some advantages, specifically for the MPC 1 or the MPC Live 2. You're going to get the ability to use preamps on your audio interface for microphones, and you're going to be able to use this instrument input as well. And there's phantom power for your condenser microphones. Now, in addition to this, it's also going to expand your capability to have more inputs on the MPC 1. I've actually used my Zoom LiveTrack L12, and I got that to work on the MPC 1, and that one actually has 12 different inputs. So this really expands the capabilities of the MPC standalone devices, and it's a really great update. Now, I want to let you know, I'm going to leave links for everything I'm using in the description, so if you want to know exactly what I'm using, check out the description for the show notes and links to everything I'm using in this video. So in this example, I'm going to use the Focusrite 2i2, and I want to plug everything into it first, and then I want to power on my MPC. And it's pretty straightforward. You need to make sure that you do plug your audio cables into your line outputs. So these are the cables that you would put into your studio monitors or your mixer. You want to use those in the actual audio interface. In front of me, I do have a microphone that I'm going to use with a microphone cable. So I'm going to plug that in right there and plug the other end to the Focusrite Scarlett. I'm going to use my instrument cable to plug into the second input of the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. And the other end of that, I'm going to plug into my electric guitar. Now I'm going to take my USB cable, plug it into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 and the MPC 1. So now everything's plugged in. I'm going to turn on my MPC. So you notice when the MPC turned on, it gave power to the actual audio device, and I have a green USB right there. And you notice nothing popped up on the screen that said USB device isn't compatible. That's what happened before. Whenever I plugged in my Scarlett 2i2, it just said this USB device wasn't compatible. Now it seems like we're good to go. So it's going to go into a project. So once you have everything connected, you're in your project. You need to make sure that you do have the audio interface selected. So if you go to menu, you go to your settings right there. You're going to see a new tab on the left side that says audio device. Go ahead and click audio device. So when you go into the audio device settings, by default, it's going to be on internal. Now, if you go into that menu, you should see whatever audio devices you do have connected. For me, I see Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 USB. So I'm going to go ahead and select this audio device. So if I was using my LiveTrack L12 that has 12 inputs, I would need to go ahead and check that box right there to give me 32 inputs inside the MPC firmware. But I'm just using the Focusrite Scarlett and it only has 2 inputs. So by default, there's going to be 4 inputs that show up on your MPC. So I'm good to go with this. So I'm going to go back to main. In this particular project, I do have a drum kit set up and a sequence set up to play that drum kit. It's very basic. So now our audio device is set up. Anywhere where we can have an audio input, we can use our audio device. So for example, I can go to the audio tracks, and then I can go here, and then right here, I can select my input. If I want to monitor the inputs, I can turn monitor on to N, and then I can monitor the inputs. And then if I arm it, it's going to be able to be armed to record. Another thing to do is to select your appropriate inputs. I have the microphone selected on the first input. So what I'm going to do is actually select input 1 right here. And then what I need to make sure I have on is my phantom power, because I am using a condenser microphone that requires phantom power. So I can push the 48 volt switch. It's going to send phantom power to my microphone. All right, so let's go ahead and test this. Test. All right, yeah, it's definitely working. Pretty loud. I'm going to put the microphone a little closer. We can see the level here. We need to make sure we set our levels properly. Of course, you don't want to be clipping. So what I'm going to do is just get my acoustic guitar and I'm going to record something in here just so you can get an idea that this actually works. So everything's set up. So I'm just going to start recording this in there. So in order to record this, you need to make sure that this is armed. Okay, if you want to monitor what you're recording, put this on in. If you put it on auto, it's going to be able to monitor what you're recording as you're recording it. And then whenever it comes back around to play it, it's going to play what you recorded. So I'm going to just show this here for you. I'm going to press record on the MPC and then play start. All right. Press overdub to take that off. And you can hear it recorded everything perfectly. So I have my electric right here. What I'm going to do is show you how I can record my electric guitar right into the MPC 1. So I need to actually push the instrument button on the Scarlett. So right here is an instrument button. When I press that, it makes this particular input capable of receiving an instrument level input. And then the next thing to do is to make a new audio track. So I'm going to press right here to make a new audio track. And then this way you can see it. It's right there. I'm going to select the correct input, which is going to be input 2 on the Focusrite. And then, so we can hear it, I'm going to monitor it. Right? And you would just set your level of, again, you set your gain input. All right, so you get the idea, right? We can go ahead and use an audio interface to record audio in standalone mode on the MPC 1. It's really cool that you could do this. And if I wanted to put insert effects on there, I could do that as well by going into here. And they added a little bit of presets for you in here. So if you go to the guitar, I could put slow chorus on that. Add some effects. Maybe I wanted to change the chorus a little bit. See what I'm saying? So you get a little bit of options there for you. I'm going to go to the settings again. I want to go to audio device, and then I want to pick my Zoom L12, which is right here. And then I want to make sure that I do have the 32 inputs and outputs selected. So I want to click that right there. Now you do need to save or discard your project before this happens. So I'm just going to save it. It's going to shut down. It's going to reload. I'm just going to load that project back up. Okay. And then I'm going to add a new audio track on here. And now you can see I'm using my L12 with this particular microphone, and it's showing up right here on input 1. So that's what that is. And you can see, it shows 32 inputs, but there's only going to be 14 with the L12 realistically. So you just need to make sure that you select the correct one. So my microphone that I'm using right here is on input 1, and you can see that there. I just want to show you this real fast just to give you an example. If I put this particular microphone on input 8 on my L12, for example, what I can do is go to input 8 within the MPC. Now, check. The microphone works right there. Check 1, check 2. So you can see it's coming up right here. And if I wanted to record that, I could record that. Check 1, check 2. So as you can hear right here, check 1, check 2. That's all within the MPC right there, okay? If you want to see more videos about the MPC 1, go ahead and click or tap the screen over here. Take you to a playlist about more videos on the MPC 1. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a great update. I'm really happy that this update came out with the external audio devices that we're now able to use. I hope you enjoy it. My name is Matthew. Continue creating music, and we'll talk soon.